Michael Zucker, currently an engineering director at Zoopla for the past almost 2 years now. I look after our consumer organization, which is basically all of zoopla.co.uk. We call it the portal, and our native iOS and Android app. I look after 12 teams, and I have about 80 software engineers and quality engineers in total, and 12 fantastic managers helping me navigate this role.
And why did you decide on a career in technology?
I was in university, I was enrolled in the College of Business initially, and none of the normal business majors like accounting, marketing, finance really interested me. So at the time, this was a long time ago, 1993, I chose information systems. And after a year of that and loving the coursework, learning how to program, I transferred over into engineering and then focused more on computer science, as well as the existing business core curriculum, which was information systems. So ended up with degrees in IS as well as computer science. It was very new to me. I wasn't really into tech as a kid, something I knew very little about. I knew I would learn a lot. I would push myself out of my comfort zone. I suppose I had confidence that the degree would always be marketable. I'd always have an easy time finding work. And obviously both of which have proven to be true.
What are you doing on a day-to-day basis, and what excites you about your current role?
I would say my role is split into two parts primarily, mostly between tech on one side, technical strategy, architectural direction, and then people on the other side. Both are really exciting to me. On the tech side, I'm constantly in meetings about evolving our technical strategy, focusing on core web vitals, SEO, as we look to migrate our portal into Vercel. We're working on retiring the legacy stack of Perl, standing up GraphQL, NoSQL, event-driven architecture. So the tech part of my job is really exciting. On the people side, I have, as I mentioned, 12 engineering quality managers. Being able to support them on a daily basis, providing mentoring, coaching, is one of the things I really love about my job. We have an incredibly talented, empathetic, diverse, caring group of EMs, and I feel really lucky to be able to work with them every day.
What has been the biggest challenge in your career to date?
Over the last 2 to 3 years and the last several roles I've had, as I've taken on sort of bigger roles and bigger teams, I'd say the biggest challenge has been losing close contact, both with the code that we're writing and that we're responsible for, as well as the individuals themselves, the actual developers and programmers writing the code. So right now, we've got a terrific group of senior and principal level engineers, so it's really easy to trust that our engineering estate is in good hands. But for me, it's been hard to not have the context, not feel like I really know what's going on, and just having to ask dumb questions that I, simply would just sort of know without having to ask. I say the other challenge is I consider myself a people person, and having a team, being able to sort of build relationships and foster relationships with each person. Now that I have a team of 80, that's become much more difficult as well and difficult to sustain. So now I'm in search of other ways to kind of make that happen and to create these relationships with larger teams.
And what has been your biggest achievement to date?
I would say the biggest achievement to date is the fact that I'm actually in a role where people like you ask me these types of questions and care what I have to say. So I feel really proud of what I've achieved in my career over the years. Several years ago, I worked for Condé Nast International, which is a major global publishing company. And we built a team from scratch to build out a multi-tenant web application, a web platform, to serve all of Condé Nast's global brands. And that was Vogue and GQ, New Yorker, and then going ahead and flying over the world and working with every one of their international markets to migrate their content and their sites over into our new system. And I would say that was easily one of my biggest achievements and highlights in my career.
What new technology are you most excited about at the moment?
Right now, I'd say at Zoopla. So right now we're migrating our web portal into Vercel. So Vercel it's an entire platform for front end frameworks and static sites. And once we're fully migrated, we're expecting our core web vitals to improve, our SEO to improve, our cost to decrease, our developer experience to increase exponentially. So for me, I've always been passionate about developer experience, possibly for obvious reasons, being a developer for a long time. But now, I look at it as a major contributor to retaining our engineers and making their development lives fun and easy, whilst also, like I said, having fast websites, looking at costs, et cetera. So I would say the answer is for me is Vercel at this point.
What changes do you envision for your sector in the next 5 years?
We at Zoopla, we're on a mission to reimagine an industry, and we're sort of in the middle of that journey. I do believe the current sort of estate agent model is ripe for reimagination, and I think it'll evolve a bit over the years to bring buyers and sellers closer together. There'll always be a need for estate agents. Clearly, they pay our paychecks, but for significant, large transactions like such as buying and selling homes, we need these folks to give buyers, sellers peace of mind. But I do think, with buyers being more active in terms of finding their own homes and doing a lot of their own research and having the ability to go and tour homes, whether it's in person or virtual, I think that relationship with buyers, sellers, and estate agents will evolve significantly over the next 5 years.
If you could give one piece of advice to future technology leaders, what would it be?
I think if you read enough books or posts on leadership, the one piece of advice that I've taken on and I feel strongly about, and I think others should as well, is basically to remain true to who you are as a person. We all have growth opportunities. We all have blind spots. It's important to work on these over time, clearly, but feeling comfortable in your own skin, with your own style of leadership, your own approach to leading, while staying true to who you are, of course, I think that will eventually bring you success.